The moon was full and already at its zenith. He was late. Paladin Balen cursed under his breath. The conspicuous lack of music made his stomach twist. King Zavrius should have been playing that damned lute harp by now. Running in full armor through a forest at night, Balen would be lucky if he didn't catch his foot on a root, fall, and break his neck. That would be his luck, dying stupidly just before he claimed the most prestigious role in Kraestross. He needed to focus on the uneven path before him. But how could he? King Zavrius and everyone else was waiting. Balen's foot slipped in the mulch. He staggered forward in the dark, only righting himself by some miracle. He resolved to push the king from his mind. Always easier in theory. He failed. Focus. You show up smeared in mud and Zavrius will be offended. And Zavrius knew how to hold a grudge. The winding path straightened. It became a sudden, arrow-sharp road cutting through an archway of evergreen trees. The path was lit by torches, their bare flames licking at the balmy air. Balen took a breath and slowed. The primordial majesty of the Gedrock's glade opened before him. A massive, ancient and long-dead creature lay slumped in a semicircle at the perimeter of the clearing, forming the northern barrier. These massive beings had been named Gedrock, after the ancient king who had first harnessed their magical properties. This Gedrock possessed a strange composite quality. The top half resembled a giant, bulky panther, but its lower half tapered away into a lean serpent tail. Its head looked like an earless cat's skull with a fine layer of skin laid over the bone. The rounded head sat tall. At 4 men high, the creature's glazed, sunken eye could watch the whole glade. Skin covered in off-white and aquamarine scales enfolded long, blood-red tendons and sheathed near-transparent bones. It smelled faintly of brine and oak moss. Parts of it had been carved away over the years to create both magical instruments and armor, including Balen's own. Now the creature's ribcage looked brittle and weak. Fat, wild vines wove through places where harvesting the skin had exposed the ribs. The light glinted along Balen's Gedrock bone armor as he passed. Flickers of prismatic color split through the darkness. Balen raised his head proudly to the ancient creature. This was the source of his power. He couldn't help but feel a kinship with it. On a wooden dais beneath the Gedrock's open ribcage, King Zavrius waited. King Zavrius, 5th heir to the Dued Vuuthric dynasty, was a languid vision in the moonlight. He sat sprawled back in a carved wooden throne, tall, lean body stretched out with one leg softly bouncing. At 22, Zavrius somehow managed to have the demeanor of a child and an old man at once. The moonlight turned the shadows on his tawny skin the color of wine. His deep brown hair had been pulled up away from his face, so Balen had a moment to clock the king's expression. Slight knot in his brow, quirk to his lip. He was making a show of inspecting his fingernails.